Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're okay. Yes, I'm still hot and I look an absolute mess. I'm now just literally running with sweat. I'm back from watering. I was a little bit later starting my watering today. I started at 8:30. I just overslept. My alarm went off at 5:30 and I obviously whacked it because, you know, again, I've only had about 3 hours sleep, not getting to sleep till about 2 or 2:30. And then I suddenly woke up at 7:30 and thought, quick, get to the garden before it gets too hot. Anyway, it was already too hot. I'm in the same shirt as yesterday because literally, well, when I've stopped filming in a minute, it's coming off. Literally, my clothes are soaked in an hour. So while I'm at home, I just take them off. It's, yeah, just do everything in bra and knickers. Sorry, TMI. So, yeah, I guess I was sort of leaving the plot about 11. Thing is, on the way home, I've bumped into 4 or 5 different people who stopped and had chats. Got really jealous because the last person I bumped into, she's just back from a week's holiday in the UK, staycation. They've been in a forest for the week. Oh, the idea of all these trees and that coolness underneath. Oh, yeah, and she said that basically they got back to London late last night and could not believe the temperature when they stepped out of their van. It was a real shocker. So yeah, none of us are exaggerating when we're talking about how yucky it is. But I just wanted to say a quick word about this heat, then I'll move on. Other things, lots of things to get on top of today. No, I don't have a fan, I don't have a aircon. It's very unusual for us to have these kind of temperatures for so many days in a run. Quite often we do get temperatures like this from time to time, but we'll have them for a day or 2 days, and before we've got time to moan about them, they're over and done with and we move it back to our normal mild mid-20s type weather. So I've never bothered buying a fan because, you know, for 2 or 3 uncomfortable days a year, it's just not been worth it. This year, if I'd known that this was coming, maybe I would have bought a fan. I've had a quick look on my high street, there aren't any. And now we're at the stage where if I order one online, by the time it comes, this weather will have broken. It's due to break today. We're due to start with some big electrical storms from this afternoon. I don't know that they'll bring any rain, but if they could just break this this stalemate of the heat. So yeah, it's just a bit of a, you know, deal with it as best as one can. That means things like the sheets go in the freezer during the day, so at night time I put a frozen sheet on the bed. No top sheet, it's too warm. I've got a bottle of water, a spritzy bottle that I keep in the fridge, spritz myself. The main thing, and I'm going to do this in a minute, is to have a cool bath, not cold. You don't want to have a cold bath or a cold shower because that will induce your body to start making more heat. So yeah, a cool bath, and I always save my bath water. I'm not particularly dirty, but I always save my bath water for things like watering my houseplants, watering seedlings if I've got my seedlings on the go. I use it for flushing the loo. I even use it, sometimes I'll have a bowl of bath water in the kitchen with pans and things soaking. It's not the actual washing water, I use clean water to wash my kitchen stuff, but it just means if I've got really sticky stuff, it can go in a bowl of bath water to get the worst of the sticky off, then wash it. And yesterday it was just delicious. Literally about every hour or so, that water is now cold. It's not freezing cold like tap cold, it's just chilled down. Literally every hour I was just getting in the bath for 5 minutes, submerging myself to here, get out, air dry, and for the next 10-15 minutes felt almost human again. It was lovely. I got to the point yesterday and I thought, do you know what, Vivi? Just put your swimming suit on, your swimming costume on, just hop in and out of the bath all day. Like I said, literally the minute this camera goes off, clothes off, into that cold bath again. But I just wanted to mention something about staying hydrated. So you all know I do stay hydrated. I drink my water. I love having my water. My water is always by my side. I don't have any problems with staying hydrated. The problem at the moment is we're really quite humid. So my sweat isn't getting a chance to evaporate. So my sweating isn't really being effective. All that's happening is that moisture that's coming out of my body is combining with all the moisture in the air and just running down me. I mean, you can see, look, it's vile, isn't it? My hair is wet. So yeah, it's running down me, soaking my clothes, because it's not evaporating, it's not doing that job that it ideally does of drawing the heat away from the body. So I'm very aware that I've been overheating, which is why I'm having my little plunges into the cooler water. There comes a point the body just can't cope and can't cool itself anymore. So my sweating isn't very effective, but I'm doing an awful lot of it. So I'm losing a lot more water than usual. And you could think, well, the answer is just drink more than usual. And I certainly am drinking more than usual. However, I'm keeping mindful of my electrolytes. So I'm going to put all this very simply. Hopefully it'll be simplified. The problem with having lots and lots of water is the excess, let's say, is going to go on a journey to my kidneys, and before it all gets to my kidneys, how to put it, bad stuff gets taken out, good stuff gets put back, gets recirculated, if you like, and then I pee out my excess and my rubbish. The problem with this vast amount of water is the ability to take back the good stuff, it starts to diminish, and I can basically be flushing out these good electrolytes that I need. So most of you are probably aware of potassium and sodium, and that they have an importance in our body. We need them. Too much of either, too little of either is problematic. The human body is amazing. I love the human body. I love studying physiology. It's an amazing, incredibly complex system, but works in this really fine balance. When we start to go out of balance, our bodies know what to do to bring us back into balance. If we go the other way, it brings us back into balance. We repair ourselves, it's fantastic. But the body can only do that to a point. So things that take us out of balance, if we keep doing them in excess, there comes a point when the body can't correct that. So with this potassium and sodium, you know, some of you may have been asked to do it by your doctor. You get told you need to go on a low sodium diet because there's too much sodium in your system. The balance of, apart from anything, no, I won't try and explain the sodium-potassium pump at a cellular level, the water that's in cells or being drawn out of cells. Let's just suffice to say, potassium and sodium are really important. Really important for our heart, muscle contractility. Yeah, so we don't want too much of either of them, but we also don't want too little of either of them. So at the moment, with all this massive amount of sweating I'm doing, all this drinking I'm doing, not a huge increase in urinating, because obviously I'm sweating, but I'm really mindful that this can throw my electrolytes out of balance. So what I've been doing for the last, what day is it today? What day is it? Is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. So I started it on Sunday night. So we'd had Thursday, Friday, Saturday really hot already, and I was starting to feel a bit icky. So on Sunday night I started, and I'm doing 2 doses a day of an electrolyte, I've forgotten the word, substitution. I can't think of the word. Oh. Basically, it's a sachet of powder that I add to water, and it's got all the electrolytes in it that I need in a very specific dose. So I'm having a morning and an evening dose. It's the sort of thing you would use if you have severe vomiting and diarrhea. You know, some of us, you know, we all maybe have a bit of diarrhea once in a while, maybe just a few hours of it. You should be okay. But when you have days of diarrhea and vomiting, you know, you get one of those really ghastly gastric bugs, then it's the sort of thing you can go to the chemist and buy the replacement, not substitution, that's the word I'm looking for, electrolyte replacement sachets. So yeah, so I'm looking after myself in that way. People can become ill really quickly when the body stops being able to cool itself. So I'm really mindful of my body's needs. I would have liked to have got a fan today. There's none available. I'm not going to bother because, like I said, hopefully by tomorrow this weather will have broken. So the other thing with this weather, I was kind of mentioning, it's running down my neck. I was mentioning when I was doing my calendula yesterday. I laid those out in the shed yesterday. I've gone back today. They're almost dry already. Things have gone a little bit out of whack. For what's the date now? It's the 12th. So I'm nearly a fortnight into my little August time out, and all the things I thought I would have had done by now or would have had a chance to do and enjoy, it's just not happened. I'm finding it really, really difficult to do anything at the moment other than, you know, I've got 2 priorities at the moment. One, keep my garden alive. So yeah, massive watering sessions. Keep my garden alive and keep me alive. So yeah, that's been the focus, and excuse me. So yeah, really struggling to get anything else done. But saying to myself, okay, there's actually no point. There's no point in fighting on and trying to do various things if it's just going to make me get hotter and hotter and then feel ill. And the last thing I want to do is get another, nearly swore, blinking migraine for a few days. So yeah, the rest of my day today, I'm sat here now in front of the computer. The first thing I'm going to do is go and have a little cool water plunge, and then for the rest of my day I'm going to get on with something that's been needing doing for ages. I've got a ton of emails relating to the building because, you know, actually we just had another bit of roof out the back that way fixed the other day. Oh God, I felt sorry for those guys out there in the baking sun. So I've got all sorts of loose ends to tie up. I've got all sorts of loose ends to open up. But also I had an email from my broadband, my internet service provider, with a new offer, a deal, what have you. And it's one of these things that I always end up putting off. Now, essentially it should be a 5-10 minute job. But what happens is I open up my emails and there's 7 or 8 or 9 of those little 5-10 minute jobs, and suddenly I think I don't have time to deal with any of it, so I don't deal with any of it, which is stupid. Deal with it. In an ideal world, you know, we could all spend one day a year sitting down and looking and getting our best deals for our phones and our internets and insurance and all these things, but of course they all get renewed at different times, don't they? So it's never as convenient as that. But I'm going to have a look at it. I had a brief look, and it actually looks like what they're offering me is about £10 cheaper than what I'm currently paying. So in doing that show, there's a couple of others I need to look at. I'm obviously going to try and find my best possible deal, but by that I don't necessarily mean the cheapest, because to me the service, the reliability, the customer service, all those things are really, really important. So in some ways I'd rather pay a couple of quid extra each month to a company where I get great customer service, reliability, all those things I just said. And the company I'm with, I've had that from them for years. I think I've been with them 10 years or so now, and I don't want to jinx myself, touch wood, I've not had problems. So yeah, best deal isn't always the cheapest. The other thing I really, really like about this company, actually this came up on my walk home, talking to one of my neighbours about the high street. One of the reasons I like them is it's really easy to communicate with them. Pick up the phone, it's always human to human communication. I really, really don't like these companies where everything has to be done online, via email. Ugh. I want human interaction. I want face-to-face business relationships. If something does go wrong, I want to be able to speak to someone. This was the thing that was so frustrating with Compostgate, is that I could not speak to anyone, and I was sending emails and I wasn't getting a response. I was getting a generic email back that had nothing to do with what I'd said in my email. No phone service, nothing, zero customer service. It was, well, by now, it was beyond frustrating. So if I can find a company where I can do business face to face, brilliant. If I can't do it face to face, at least let's do it via the phone, so it's voice to voice. And the thing that came up with a neighbour just now is another one of our high street banks is closing. When I moved to this area, I think there were 6 high street banks. I've been a member of all of them. Moved banks, every time one of them closes I have to open an account, because yes, I do most of my banking online. It's really handy. It was particularly handy when I was nursing. If I'm getting home at 10:30 at night and need to do something, I can do it online. Brilliant. But I always want that face-to-face possibility, because sometimes, there's a bit of a problem that you want to talk to someone about, or you get a cheque and it's got the wrong date on it, and you want to talk to someone and say, can I still cash it? Whatever it is, face-to-face. So yeah, it's really sad that I think we're going to, after this one goes, we're now going to be down to just 2 face-to-face banks. And I just think about all the older people in this community, or those with, say, some level of learning disability, who don't feel comfortable using the internet. Now, some of those older people may not have internet. They may not know how to use a computer. Some of them may have access to that, but are wary of doing their banking that way because perhaps they're a bit feared of sort of security risks. So there are great swathes in our communities of people who need face-to-face interaction. So please, the one way we can keep these kind of businesses is by using them. So I do try to pop in to of the 2 that remain, one of them is my bank, and I do try to pop in there and do some of my transactions face to face. Also, it's things like, in the supermarkets where they've got the self-service checkouts, I refuse to use them, because one day, what that's doing, it's a machine, they're trying to replace the people. I want to support a real life human person at the checkout. Firstly, I enjoy the interaction, but secondly, that's their job, If it goes entirely, one of my little supermarkets here has tried to go entirely to self-service. There was nearly a riot. So they do now keep 1 till open and 10 self-serve. Is it 10 or 8? I can't remember. It's tons. So yeah, boycott the machines, down with the machines. I know, look, I'm a little bit of a Luddite, but I just think the most important thing in life, surely the most important thing in life, is how we interact with each other as human beings, as actual living, breathing, beautiful souls physically coming together. Yeah, definitely down with the machines. Right, I probably burbled on long enough, but I did really want to emphasise and mention that thing about electrolytes. If you're really struggling and worrying in this heat, please, please, please call, if you're in the UK, is it 111? NHS 111? If you're feeling ill, it could be because of the heat. Don't feel ill on your own. Don't struggle. Don't carry on struggling on your own. You could even pop into your local chemist. Again, face-to-face interaction. Speak to your pharmacist. Let them know how you've been feeling, and it may be that you might need a bit of an electrolyte top-up. Of course, if you can get to see your GP, do. But yeah, please, everyone, please take care in this heat, because it can be really ill-making. So, electrolytes, think about them. Think about ways to cool yourself down if you don't have a fan and if you don't have AC like me. Go and have a cold bath now. A cool bath, sorry, cool, not cold. And more than anything, get out onto your high streets and go and interact face to face with people. Let's keep each other there. Right, actually, I think I've stopped sweating for a minute. Yay, you've all chilled me out. Thank you. See you again soon. I don't know. Oh, I know. I think maybe I'll see you in the garden tomorrow. Yeah. Let's hope we get this storm this afternoon. Let's hope we get a bit of refreshing rain. Let's hope it breaks the heat a bit, because, oh yeah, I've got something in mind I want to do with you all in the garden tomorrow. So until then, please look after yourselves. Keep topped up. Stay safe. See you soon.